Terminator is a 1984 American sci-fi action film directed by James Cameron, co-written by Cameron and Gail Ann Hurd, and produced by Hurd. In the film, a cybernetic assassin known as the Terminator is sent back in time from the year 2029 to 1984 to assassinate Sarah Connor. Sarah's unborn son is destined to save humanity from extinction at the hands of a hostile artificial intelligence called Skynet in a post-apocalyptic future. Kyle Reese is a soldier sent back in time to protect Sarah. The film is notable particularly for its dark, grim depiction of a dystopian future, its efficient action-driven storytelling, and its strong characters. The Terminator skillfully blends human-centered drama with the cold, mechanical threat, making it a lasting and impactful classic of the sci-fi action genre. It also raises profound questions about the relationship between humans and technology, as well as fate and free will. An interesting detail in the film is that several of the same actors later appear in other Cameron movies. For example, in the 1986 film Aliens, Michael Biehn, who plays Kyle Reese, appears as Hicks. Bill Paxton, who plays the punk leader, appears as Hudson. And Lance Henriksen, who plays Vukovich, appears as the android Bishop. The Terminator features a variety of weapons in its firefights. Some of these weapons later become relatively iconic in the cinematic world of on-screen firearms. The film also showcases a couple of weapon models that appear extremely rarely in movies. Let's start the weapon breakdown with those used by the Terminator, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. One of the most iconic firearms in the movie is the .45 ACP AMT Hardballer Longslide. Shortly after arriving from the year 2029, the Terminator acquires an AMT Hardballer Longslide with a 7-inch barrel fitted with a primitive laser sight from a gun store. The laser sight was manufactured by Laser Products Corporation, which later became Surefire. The large sight was mounted to the gun using a special grip plate that had attachment points for the device. At the time the film was made, laser sights were rare and required a great deal of power, as much as 10,000 volts for the ignition pulse. For this reason, the sight seen in the movie could not have an integrated battery. Instead, its battery pack was separate and hidden under Arnold Schwarzenegger's clothing. When the sight was used in a scene, wires from the battery were run through his sleeve to the gun. After the gun store scene, the hardballer is seen in the Terminator's possession when he terminates the first woman from the phone book who shares the name Sarah Connor. Later, when he reaches the apartment of the real Sarah Connor, played by Linda Hamilton, he is wielding the hardballer as he confronts her roommate, Ginger Ventura. Upon tracking Sarah to the Tech Noir nightclub, the Terminator uses the hardballer, but loses it when Kyle Reese, played by Michael Biehn, intervenes in the attempted termination. At that point, he switches to his IMI Uzi. The IMI Uzi submachine gun, chambered in 9x19mm, is another weapon the Terminator acquires from the gun store. Interestingly, the weapon in the film has the short military-style barrel. In 1984, however, a Californian gun shop would most likely have been able to sell only semi-automatic civilian versions with a longer 16-inch barrel. The weapon also fires fully automatic in the movie. James Cameron has hinted that, in the story, the Uzi was originally a civilian model, but the Terminator modified it, along with the AR-18 rifle mentioned later, into a fully automatic weapon later in his hotel room. The Uzi appears to be carried in a leather shoulder rig, which the Terminator uses to conceal the weapon under his jacket. He uses the Uzi mainly in the Tech Noir nightclub scene when Kyle Reese interferes with his attempt to terminate Sarah Connor. The Terminator loses the Uzi when Kyle uses his shotgun to blast him out of the club's window. Another Uzi, this one with a wooden stock, is briefly seen in a flashback sequence where Kyle Reese recalls a skin job Terminator attacking his resistance base. In the film's production stills, Arnold Schwarzenegger is also seen holding a Mac submachine gun on the Tech Noir set. This is an intriguing image, as it raises questions. Was the shooting scene tested during filming with a Mac submachine gun in addition to the Uzi? Or is it simply a marketing photo? The third weapon acquired by the Terminator from the gun store is a Franchi SPAS-12 shotgun, chambered in 12 gauge. It is fitted with a top-folding hook stock, which the Terminator later removes. The gun store scene is a good example of what can happen when a clerk hands a firearm to a customer, while also having ammunition readily available nearby. An interesting detail is that, according to the film's script, the shotgun was originally intended to be a Remington 1100. However, once production began, the SPAS-12 was chosen instead due to its distinctive and eye-catching appearance. The Terminator is first seen using the shotgun in the gun store, and later as one of the two weapons he wields during the assault on the police station. In that sequence, the Terminator has removed the shotgun's folding stock. A notable detail is that Arnold Schwarzenegger operates the shotgun one-handed without a stock, even firing it in this manner. This is impressive because, in reality, the SPAS-12 weighs 4.4 kilograms, and handling it one-handed without a stock requires considerable strength. A SPAS-12 is also seen in the hands of a human resistance fighter in one of the Future War flashbacks. The fourth weapon the Terminator takes from the gun store is an Armalite AR-18 assault rifle, chambered in 5.56 by 45 millimeters. The weapon is seen briefly at the beginning of the scene. As noted earlier with the Uzi submachine gun, in 1984 it is unlikely that a California gun store would have sold fully automatic firearms, so in the story, the weapon is a semi-automatic AR-180 rifle made for the civilian market. This is also how it is described in the script. The script mentions the rifle being fitted with a scope, but this does not appear in the film. In the story, as with the Uzi, the Terminator modifies the weapon into a fully automatic firearm and removes its stock. The rifle used in the movie, however, was an actual fully automatic military AR-18. The Terminator uses the AR-18 primarily during the assault on the police station and while chasing Kyle and Sarah from the hotel. In these scenes, the Terminator is seen using 40-round magazines taped together in a jungle-style configuration. While riding a motorcycle, the Terminator tosses the AR-18 aside when it runs dry. Following the skirmish at the Tech Noir nightclub, the Terminator acquires an Ithaca 37 shotgun, chambered in 12 gauge, after hijacking a police officer's car. He keeps it with him while stalking Kyle and Sarah in the parking garage, and later uses it to exchange fire with Kyle during the ensuing chase. During the police station massacre, several police officers are also seen using Ithaca 37 shotguns. Kyle Reese, portrayed by Michael Biehn, almost immediately seizes a .38 Special Smith & Wesson Model 15 revolver from a police officer upon arriving in 1984. The Smith & Wesson Model 15 is also seen in several other scenes. For example, various police officers carry the Model 15 in different sequences. Additionally, a nickel-plated Model 15 can be spotted on the gun shop counter when the Terminator is loading the SPAS-12, and the Terminator himself uses a nickel-plated Model 15 during the chase scene. This indicates that the Terminator also took a Model 15 revolver from the gun store. Other identifiable firearms in the gun shop include Remington 870 shotguns with both wooden and black synthetic furniture, several AR variant rifles, a Valmet rifle, SPAS-12 shotguns, an AR-18, a Ruger 1022 with a large banana magazine, HK91A3 rifles, and a drum magazine-fed weapon, most likely a Finnish Suomi M31 submachine gun or a Russian PPSH-41 submachine gun. Based on the shape of the drum magazine, the weapon is most likely a Suomi M31 submachine gun, referencing other rare Finnish firearms seen in the film. Additionally, obtaining Russian military weapons for filming during the movie's production period would have been more difficult than acquiring a Finnish firearm. In the background of the gun shop, a World War II Finnish-made Lahti L39 anti-tank rifle chambered in 20 by 138 millimeters can also be seen. The Lahti L39 is an interesting and extremely powerful rifle. It is semi-automatic and was originally designed for infantry soldiers to use against armored vehicles during the Second World War. As tank armor became thicker, the weapon was repurposed as a long-range sniping rifle. A fully automatic version was also produced for anti-aircraft purposes. The main drawbacks of the Lottie L39 during wartime were its large size, heavy weight, and limited practicality in the field. The Lottie L39 is a very rare sight in films. Apart from the Terminator, it has appeared in only a couple of other movies, for example, the 2017 Finnish war film The Unknown Soldier. Upon arriving in present-day Los Angeles, Kyle Reese acquires a 12-gauge Ithaca 37 shotgun from an unattended police car. The shotgun features an extended 7-round magazine tube. Immediately after taking the Ithaca, Reese saws off the stock and attaches a makeshift sling made from rope, allowing him to conceal and operate the weapon underneath his coat. Reese uses the Ithaca against the Terminator in the Tech Noir nightclub shootout, as well as during the ensuing car chase after he and Sarah escape the parking garage. In some shots of the Tech Noir nightclub sequence, Reese is seen wielding a standard Ithaca without the extended magazine tube, revealing a continuity error in the scene. In the future war sequences, Reese wields a 5.56 by 45mm Valmet M82 bullpup assault rifle, depicted in the film as a futuristic plasma rifle. The weapon was fitted with a fictional computerized digital tracking scope, built for the film from parts of a video camera. In certain shots, the rifle is shown without a magazine attached. The Finnish-made Valmet M82 rifle is a rare sight in films. It was developed from the Valmet RK6276 rifle by converting it into a bullpup configuration. Around 2,000 units were produced between 1978 and 1986. In addition to the 5.56 by 45mm chambering, it was also manufactured in 7.62 by 39mm. The manufacturer, Valmet, later Sacco, attempted to gain the interest of the Finnish army by offering the rifle for testing with paratrooper units, but it was deemed unsuitable as a service weapon. The biggest issues were the protruding offset iron sights. Soldiers injured themselves on them, there were problems adjusting the sights for different ranges, and left-handed shooters could not aim the rifle at all. Additionally, the weapon's balance was considered poor. In the future war sequences, 7.62 by 51mm Heckler & Koch HK91A3 rifles can be seen in the hands of the resistance fighters. These rifles are fitted with wide forearms and folding bipods. In the gun shop scene, 2 HK91A3 rifles can also be spotted on a shelf. During the future war flashback sequences, a 50 BMG Browning M2HB heavy machine gun is visible. Another 50 BMG weapon also appears in these scenes. The infiltrator Terminator, played by Franco Columbu, uses a rapid-fire plasma cannon based on a water-cooled Browning M2. In the Terminator novelization, this weapon is referred to as the General Dynamics RBS-80. The RBS-80 is also seen mounted on the roof of a resistance vehicle. An interesting fact about Franco Columbu is that he was a very close friend of Arnold Schwarzenegger for many years, dating back to their bodybuilding days. Schwarzenegger wanted to get his friend some movie roles, so Columbu appeared in several films starring Schwarzenegger himself, such as Conan the Barbarian, 1982, Predator, 1987, and The Running Man, 1987. At the end of the film, Sarah Connor, played by Linda Hamilton, is seen carrying a .357 Magnum caliber stainless Ruger Security 6 revolver with Packmayer rubber grips. In the movie, one police officer is seen with a Colt Python chambered in .357 Magnum, and during an interrogation, one detective has a Colt Detective Special chambered in .38 Special. He drops the revolver when Reese knocks him out during the Terminator's assault on the police station. A Colt Detective Special with pearl grips is also seen with Lance Henriksen's character, Vukovic. Lieutenant Edward Traxler, played by Paul Winfield, carries a .357 Magnum caliber snub-nose Ruger Speed 6 with rubber grips. In a deleted scene, the mortally wounded Lieutenant Edward Traxler gives Kyle Reese his revolver as he and Sarah Connor escape the police station. This deleted scene reveals how Reese later came to have the revolver in the film. In another deleted scene, Kyle instinctively aims this revolver at Sarah when the two get into a tense confrontation. Later at the motel, Kyle gives Ruger to Sarah when he leaves to buy supplies, and Sarah inspects the revolver in the motel room. During the assault on the police station by the Terminator, several police officers head to the armory and begin passing out 5.56 by 45mm caliber M16A1 rifles with 20-round magazines. Traxler and Vukovic use M16A1 rifles against the Terminator. Hope you enjoyed the video. Write in the comments what you thought of the Terminator movie and what things and details you found in the movie yourself. Also, remember to like the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, it's worth doing so. It's free to subscribe, and you'll be notified when more interesting videos about firearms in movies are uploaded to the channel.
I'll be back.